The new now is here. You need an out-of-the-box user-friendly platform that will help you transition smoothly to the new normal. You need vSmart School. vSmart School is a one-stop teaching and learning online platform perfect for hybrid learning. This two-in-one system caters to your distance learning and classroom management needs. vSmart School supports self-paced, teacher-paced, asynchronous and synchronous formal education online. In vSmart School, students will attend daily online classes and access Vival's DepEd-aligned digital curriculum from preschool to senior high school. Need content for college? We have them too. With the guidance of parents and teachers, students will follow DepEd's recommended day-to-day lesson calendar for an entire school year. Teachers using vSmart School can also create lessons, schedule classes, and monitor their students' progress. Most importantly, teachers can also live stream or securely conduct online classes through the platform's webinar feature. Looking for a perfect classroom management partner? vSmart School has got you covered as it boasts of an out-of-the-box learning management platform. It provides a library of gamified and interactive materials, a lesson plan repository mapped to the curriculum, assessment tools, and ebooks that feature augmented reality technology. This LMS component of vSmart School is integrated with a learning record system. This means that through the system, teachers and students can track their teaching and learning journey. Not just that, teachers can also monitor students' grades through an electronic grading sheet called Gradebook. And if you need to deploy tests online, you can do so with Test Guru, where you can enjoy thousands of free test questions ready for deployment through the Vival Test Bank. See, all your distance learning needs are here in vSmart School. Packed with curriculum-aligned content, learners' progress reporting, and ebooks that are AR ready, vSmart School goes beyond the traditional classroom experience. The good news is, you can also enjoy the vSmart School experience without the internet connection through its mobile app. Downloadable from Google Play Store and Apple App Store. So what are you waiting for? Start your virtual classroom with vSmart School.
Good evening, Kabibal, and welcome to our Learn at Home Facebook Live session. For the discussion tonight, the topic will be on home-based learning and research activities at home with Learn at Home. Before we begin, take note of the following reminders. First, you have to make sure you are registered to the webinar to have your e-certificate of participation. Visit certificate.bibalgroup.com to generate your proof of attendance. Place your questions on the comment box allotted during the session and they will be addressed by our speaker later on. Share the video using hashtag LearnAs1PH as our official hashtag to our Bibal webinars. Experience learning, Kabibal. And now, to proceed with our webinar this evening, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker. Our resource speaker is a faculty of San Felipe Neri Catholic School, Araling Panlipunan Department. He is also teaching in senior high school department on the same school. A product of State University, he finished his bachelor in secondary education, major in social studies, cum laude at Rizal Technological University. He completed his academic preparation for the Master of Arts in Education and Social Sciences at the National Teachers College and a master's degree on educational supervision and administration at Dr. Carlos S. Lantin College. At present, he is completing his postgraduate diploma for social sciences and counseling under ARLT Foundation as program scholar at The Hague, Netherlands. Just recently, he finished his leadership training and obtained certification for Lean Sigma Six Sigma Yellow Belt or CLSYB. The highlight of his professional background, aside from teaching, focuses on academic research. He is the research coordinator of Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila Educational System Cluster 3 School. He is also an accomplished author and a research trainer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Zaren Aleta Gadi.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me here. And tonight, I hope to have a fruitful discussion with everyone about the conduct of teaching research in this post-COVID era. And we know very well that it is a challenge for everyone. How can we teach research among our students with a very limited surrounding in which face-to-face discussion is very limited, and we know very well research is one demanding endeavor, not only to to elementary or junior high school students, but across all fields. This is a very demanding endeavor. It requires it requires not only our cognitive skill but also our passion so that we can deliver objective results in our in to for us to contribute to the betterment of our discipline. So for tonight, I will be sharing to you practices that we can use at home and we can inculcate research or be effective in doing research in these what we call post-pandemic era. So how can we do that with such limited encounter, most importantly to our students, with some limited encounter with teachers? Okay, so I will be giving you tips also for students. I will be teaching you some tips for your research writing. Okay, so let's start. I will now be sharing you my slide. Ayan. Ma'am Michelle, nakashare na ba yung slide ko? Okay na po pala.
Yes po sir, okay na po.
Thank you. So I can start now. Okay, so I really love this question, which I put in my title. May research pa ba? Napaka-enduring sa akin ng question na to. Kasi during one of our conference with parents, there's this student who asked me on a private message, Sir, dahil new normal na or dahil online mas ang ating klase, ang tanong po namin ay, may research pa ba? Yan. Tuloy pa ba yung paggawa nila ng research? Sabi ko, yes. And we have lots of things. We have lots of things to give to you para nang sa gayon, hindi kayo mahirapan with this limited access that we have. So, ano-ano ang mga ito? So, let's start. So, number one, nung ako'y nagtuturo ng research for the past 4 years sa senior high school, ang dami ko na rin siguro na kolektang meme na pinagsesend sa akin ng mga estudyante ko about my subject. So, ilan lang ito sa mga meme na shinare nila. So, when they started working with research, I don't know what I'm trying to find. Some say research papers, the end of my sanity. And then, I don't know sino ang guilty dito. Teacher extends research paper due date to Monday, and then some will just start Sunday night at 10 p.m. So ito yung mga meme na kung papansinin mo, nangyayari naman talaga. So, nasaan ang pagkakamali dito? Actually, our orientation about research as a difficult endeavor should be gradually eliminated. Dapat unti-unti siyang mawala. Dapat nakafocus tayo, ang tingin natin, pag tayo nagtuturo ng research o gumagawa ng research, ang focus natin is yung contribution na maibibigay natin sa lipunan. The end goal of every research is change. Without change, we fail to do research. Without change, we fail to contribute. Okay? And without change, we fail the very essence and purpose of research. The end goal of research is change. Whether it challenge an existing system, whether it challenge an existing protocol, research and change are two inseparable entity. Hindi sila pwedeng paghiwalayin. Because if you want to be objective on the change that you are proposing, then you must do a research. Okay? So, sa mga estudyante natin, ano ba ang dapat nating baguhin para maiba ang kanilang pananaw tungkol sa research? Minsan nung ako'y sumasalang pa sa mga defense, sa mga presentation, kapag naririnig ko itong tanong na, why did you conduct this study? Yun nasa utak ba ng researcher minsan, kung pwede lang talaga siguro masabi na, para po pumasa, o kaya naman, no choice din po kasi, kailangan din po namin gawin ito at the end. But, nasaan? Okay? Nasaan yung essence na kung saan ikaw ay nagko-contribute? Nasaan yung idea that as a researcher, you are contributing to better the discipline, to better the society that you are living? So, lagi at lagi babalik ka sa tanong na bakit ka nag-research? So, itong panahon na ito, mas kailangan natin ng research. Mas kailangan natin maghanap ng mga paraan na kung saan paano natin ma-improve, okay, ang ating lipunan. If not the whole society per se, our community, ourselves, those people that surrounds us, paano tayo makaka-contribute sa kanila. So, ito na nga. Nandito na nga tayo sa panahon na walang sino man ang makakayang magsabi na, na-predict ko to na next year magkakaroon ng ganitong panahon. So lahat tayo nagulat. So, dahil nandito na tayo, paano natin matutulungan yung mga bata na mahalin yung research at paano natin sila matutulungan na kahit nasa loob sila ng mga tahanan nila, ay nakakagawa sila na mimit nila yung objective ng kanilang research na ginagawa. Okay? So let's start. Ayan, minsan, naiisip din natin, ba't nga ba tayo gumawa ng research? Hindi ko rin alam eh. Yung bang, tapos mo na yung manuscript mo, hindi mo pa rin alam ano objective ng study mo. So, let's try to do this. In Vibal, we are also catering to the following. May mga modules and activity sheets that can help every learner during a synchronous session na kung saan these activity sheets are objective-driven from start to finish, from motivation of the lesson to the assessment of the lesson. And this will be very helpful to parents who are listening right now. This will be very, very helpful to parents who wish to track the development of their sons and daughters in terms of their research progress. So may mga activity sheets tayo, may mga modules tayo rito na makakatulong sa mga bata na hindi lang makagawa ng research, to develop as well their critical thinking and creative thinking, which are two essential skills or two essential literacies in doing a research project. So meron dito niyan sa Vibal. So for most students and teachers, they find research a very difficult undertaking rather than a precious commodity that they can give as a gift to the world. So, how can we explain these things without an objective lens? Yun nga minsan yung tanong ko sa mga estudyante kong nagde-defend at sa mga thesis writers na aking advisee rin. How can we give this research? How can we see these problems in a more objective manner? Okay? That after laboring for the next 3 to 5 months, this will be a very good gift to the world. Paano kaya yun? So, First is we need to clarify some misconceptions about research writing. O tandaan ninyo ito, hindi porket ikaw ay nagbasa ng pagkarami-raming blog sa internet tungkol sa iyong assignment. O this is for the students and for the teachers. What you are doing already is research. That's a very wrong idea about research. Browsing is different from researching. Mamaya, tatalakayin natin yan. There is a rising need to educate practicing teachers about issues of research in an attempt to close the widening divide between research and practice, and therefore between researchers and practitioners. So, this widening gap between those researchers who is more concerned on the development of concepts and those researchers who are more expert in developing actions. Yan, it must be put into an end because these two should unite and help one another. The theory should guide the concept, the theory should guide the action, and the action should actualize the theory. So hindi dapat nagpapaligsahan itong dalawang ito. Aminin natin sa ating mga sarili as a researcher, may mga researcher na talagang the best mag-isip ng mga theory, the best mag-isip ng mga concept, the best mag-test ng mga theories na alam niya o yung mga observation niya. Pero may mga researcher din na the best gumawa ng mga action plans, na the best gumawa ng mga intervention. Sa mga teachers na lang, our faculty researchers. So, may mga faculty researchers tayo na ang kanilang paggawa ng research, minsan it is more on testing a concept, testing a phenomenon. Ng kanilang expertise ay yung tinatawag nating pagbubuo ng mga intervention or action plan. So, laban yung dalawang yon? Hindi. Dapat silang dalawa ay nagtutulungan. Okay? Now, another thing here is to address some misconception. According to Dr. Al-Amari in 2016, according to him, there are 4 misconceptions that always, okay, there are some misconceptions that we need to understand about research. And these misconceptions can be summed up into 4. Number 1, our conceptual misconception, our methodological conception, our ethical misconception, and our practical misconceptions. Now, let us put this in home-based application. Dun sa mga bata na ang kanilang option ay mag-aral sa bahay using modules under the guidance, direct guidance and supervision of their parents as their learning coach and asynchronously their teachers. We need to address this misconception para hindi nagkakaroon ng anxiety ang bata pagdating sa research. Hindi ko alam kung nasabi nyo na rin ito minsan sa sarili nyo na kapag kayo nasa grad school na, lalo na yung mga teacher na nakikinig sa atin ngayon, anong subject mo na? Research eh. Parang ayoko na nga. Bakit? Ang hirap eh. Yan. Di ba ang dami mong susulatin dyan? Yan. So dapat ma-address natin itong misconception na to. Bakit? Kasi kung may misconception tayo sa mga sarili natin tungkol sa research, ipapasa natin yon sa mga bata. Ipapasa natin yun sa mga tuturuan natin. So, ano dapat natin gawin? We need to reformulate, okay, this misconception and start addressing this misconception with truths, okay? Ako, as a research teacher, I always tell my students, lagi kong sinasabi sa mga students, research is a demanding subject. It is really demanding. Because it needs to be very, very objective. Because when you do research, it is like you are putting your life on it. Okay? Ikinakabit mo ang buhay mo sa paggawa ng research. Because your integrity matters every time you write your own research. Now, the next thing that we need to address in our research is this. So the first thing that we need to address in research writing is our misconceptions about research. What are our misconceptions about in research writing? Ano-ano ba yung mga misconceptions na tinatawag natin pag tayo gumagawa ng research? So let us address it one by one.
Sorry for this. Our speaker is encountering a technical problem. I'll be playing a video while we are waiting for him to be connected again. So again, our apologies for this delay.
Sorry for that interruption. Let me resume. My camera lagged and it affected the Zoom presentation. My apologies. Okay, so let's continue. Addressing misconceptions in research writing. The first one that I mentioned earlier is about the conceptual. So the first one is browsing and researching are two different, okay, are two similar words. However, they bear concepts. They bear similar are two similar words bearing similar concepts. However, okay, may pinagkaiba yan. Kahit pareho sila ng para magkapatid sila, may pinagkaiba sila on a sense that browsing refers to the act of looking and glancing. Ang ating ginagawa kasi, kaya nga this is misconception. Browsing and researching are two similar words bearing similar concepts. This is a misconception. Why? Because browsing refers to the act of looking and glancing or surfing it if made through the internet. Researching, on the other hand, read and search is finding again. Okay? This follows the act of testing an existing claim through objective methods of data collection and data analysis. So, ibig sabihin, mali yung mali yung pag sinasabi natin sa assignment natin, lalo na sa mga teacher, research for the following terms. Ang nangyayari, ang napapractice ng mga bata, pag sinabi mong research, ay, hanapin lang natin yung term na to sa internet tapos bibigyan tayo ng teacher ng perfect score for this definition of terms. Ang nangyayari, si browsing nagiging research. At pagdating sa research subject nila, when they are already writing their research, they bear that kind of attitude. Okay? They bear that kind of skill na kapag nag-browse sila, hinanap nila yung term na to, isinulat nila dyan, kinapi lang nila without properly citing or without doing the proper paraphrasing, yun na yung research. Remember, teachers, there is a need to provide clarity on giving activities. Most importantly, if your task will only dwell in repetition of a known defined term. Okay? If there is a repetition, the word research is a process itself. Okay? Sabihin niya sa sarili niyo ngayon habang nakikinig kayo sa akin. The word research is a process itself. It is actually a process inside a strong protocol. And what are these protocols? These are our traditions in doing research, like in qualitative research or our techniques and methods in quantitative data analysis. These protocols govern the procedure and the process of research itself, data gathering and data analysis. So, for the students, anong dapat natin gawin sa kanila? Students, there is nothing more powerful than the act of reading and writing. To our students who stay at home, who choose to stay at home because it is the safest place now in this kind of pandemic, who choose to have the home-based learning. Students, if you will be writing your research, there is nothing more powerful than the act of reading and writing. Like a journalist itself, read, write. Okay? So when you read, you have something to write. Do you agree with me, teachers? When you read something, you have something to write. When you read something, you have something to share. And when you write something, you demonstrate your understanding about a concept. And sometimes higher than understanding, you apply your comprehension in the expounding, in the explanation, okay, of a certain term or answering a certain problem. Like in research, there is nothing more powerful than the act of reading and writing. Read ebooks, okay? Now, another one is interact with the material. When you interact with the material, it's like you are talking to the material itself. You are looking at the material itself, and then you are writing something. Oh, I think I don't agree with the author here. Oh, I think I agree with the researcher here. I think I can use this as part of my literature review. So, interact with the material. So, parents, how can we help our students, our children in developing the sense of critical thinking? Parents must also be an encourager. They should be the most powerful motivator for their sons and daughters to read. Okay? When I was still training on for a call center position, nung ako'y nag-working student, ako'y college, I can still remember my trainer telling us, kapag gusto mong matuto ka ng Ingles, ikaw ay manood, okay? Ikaw ay manood ng mga news reporting na ibinabalita sa wikang Ingles. Sapagkat ang mga ginagamit nilang Ingles dito o yung mga choice of words nila dito is mostly conversational. Yan. So, those are the things. Bakit ko nasabi yung wikang English? Kasi minsan most of our researches are written in English, right? So, when I conducted my thesis study about the research skills and research attitude, do you know what is one of the problem of the students? It is their vocabulary. One of the problem of the students is vocabulary, their choice of words. Okay? Now, how can we address this? Therefore, we will go back to my first concept. There is nothing more powerful than the act of reading and writing. And raise question at the end and be curious about it. Okay? Di ba kung tayo nga ina-enjoy natin sa mga kung may estudyante man tayo nakikinig ngayon o sa mga magulang na kasama nila ang kanilang mga anak na nakikinig ngayon, di ba mga students, pag nanonood tayo ng mga Korean novela, ng mga teleserye or fantaserye, kapag hindi natin gusto yung ending, nagtatanong tayo, bakit ganun? Di ba? Sana ganito nangyari. Oh. Why? Because curiosity is the beginning of wonder. When you are curious about something, that question is the beginning of a problem. And that problem will only end if you draw a solution for this. Oh, di ba? So if you are curious about something, if you are curious about how a certain thing works or why some people react like this, then what will you do? Okay? What will you do? Technically, you will be addressing it. You will be finding ways to address those problems. Now, addressing misconceptions in research writing number 2. Research has no U-terms. Ito yung common na pinaniniwalaan natin. Research has no U-terms. There is only one way on doing research, and that is structured, formal, and tradition-based. Ito yung laging pinaniniwalaan natin, na kapag ikaw ay nagsulat ng research, it is very, very strict to protocol. There is no U-turn. Kailangan ganito gagawin mo. Kailangan ganito ang susundin mo. Okay? But this is a misconception. Bakit siya tinawag na misconception? It is a misconception because, ano ang sagot ng mga researchers natin? Research is actually a process of many forms. Sa mga teacher na nakikinig sa atin, how can we cater this idea to our home-based learners? Research is actually a process of many forms. Ibig sabihin, research can happen anytime. When the student started thinking of a problem. Another misconception that we have is that research can only start if we have a title. This is a very, very dangerous misconception. We tend to ask our students to write 3 titles at the beginning of the research subject. And these 3 subjects will be the focus of your decision-making, teacher. Anong dapat natin gawin? Bakit ito misconception? Because your title, unless it is defended, okay? Because your title, unless it is defended, it is called as a working title. Ulitin ko ha, because the title of your study, unless it is defended, it is called as a working title. Working title lang siya. So ibig sabihin, saan dapat nagsisimula ang research? If we will follow the advice of Creswell, Mustakas, Lincoln, and Denzin, it starts with a phenomenon. It starts with a case. It starts with an experience. And it reverberates continuously because it contains the soul of your research. It reverberates. Okay? It resounds the case. It resounds everything. from your problem to your assumption. That's why the title is always prone to change. Tama, research writers? So those are the misconceptions. So dun sa mga estudyante at sa mga parents na nakikinig sa atin ngayon, mother, father, guardian, research is actually a process of many forms. So kapag yung anak nyo ay nagtatanong tungkol sa bakit kaya ganun? Bakit kaya ganito? And if he is thinking about his own thinking, he is metacogitating. Metacognition. Now, is actually a process of many forms. First, when you want to measure a phenomenon, sabi dito, it might be quantitative descriptive. Second, when you want to understand the phenomenon, ano nangyayari? It is qualitative. First is measure, second is understand, third, when you want to create and recreate the phenomenon. Pinagsama mo. Create and recreate. Anong tawag dyan? Experimental. And if you want to follow the phenomenon, changes, methods after methods, it is called the mixed method research. Research itself, okay? Research itself is actually a process of many forms. Puntahan ulit natin yung mga nag-home-based learning. So, as I said to you a while ago, Vival is offering these activity sheets. And these activity sheets follows a specific competency and objective. And this objective allows our learner to think critically. Now, teachers of research, what can you advise to the parents? What can you advise to the students? Research is not only research can be done in multiple ways. Alam nyo ba sa school namin, I'm very proud of my school, San Felipe Neri Catholic School, Jaime Cardinal Sin Learning Center, and Sacred Heart of Jesus Catholic School. Because from grade 1 to grade 12, there is research. And we allow home-based research. Paano yon? Grade 1 students are taught to observe, to play with their senses, using activity sheets, using observation sheets. Why? Because it's very impossible for a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 student to create a full-blown research. So anong dapat natin pagtibayin sa kanila? Their ability to explore things using their senses. Do you think grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 students who choose to have home-based learning can do this? Yes. When they look outside of their window and say, oh, it's a sunny day, it's very warm. It's an observation. Kinabukasan, umuulan. They wrote, it's raining today. The weather is not the same like yesterday. So, research can be done in many ways. Conceptual. So, research is alignment from start to finish. Natawa lang ako sa mga pinag-share nito mga estudyante ko. Kasi nung time na sila gumagawa nagkakandak sila ng survey, ay ang hirap naman talaga. O ngayon, new normal ngayon. May pandemic. Hindi ka pwede makapagbigay ng survey personally. Tama? O anong gagawin natin? Pwede tayong gumamit ng mga online forms. Yan. So you didn't fill out the survey? Ayan, nakalagay dun sa meme, I don't know who you are, but I will find you. Di ba, ang hirap kaya niyan? Yung nag-distribute ka ng 90 survey, ang bumalik lang sa'yo, wala pang 30, nakaka-frustrate. As isa pa rito, worst rejection, di yung nireject ka nung crush mo, ano sabi ni research proposal? Am I joke to you? Research is alignment from start to finish. It is alignment. It follows a strong series of alignment from objective to the output of your study. Remember this and do not forget. I want you to know that it is not the title that matters. It is not the title that matters, but it is your problem that matters at the beginning of your study. This problem will be defined by your objectives. Ano ang mga gusto mong ma-attain? And enumerating specific concerns to be answered. Kaya ka nagsusulat ng statement of the problem. And of course, dun pa lang lalabas yung title mo. Actually, it is called as a working title. So we need to address this. We need to address this. So, sabi nga, teachers, don't pressure the student to give research titles at the beginning of the course. It is very impossible. It is a punch thrown into an unknown heavens and guide the students on the discovery of real world problems. Now, for students, this is my advice. To those who are having a home-based learning, consider your interest in formulating your research topic. Kung ikaw ay senior high school student na nakikinig sa akin ngayon, pinili mo ay ABM. Therefore, ang interest ng research mo dapat will go inside ABM, Business Management and Accountancy. Kung ikaw ay Humanities and Social Sciences na nakikinig sa akin ngayon together with your parents, anong dapat mong gawin? Consider your interest. Okay? Halimbawa, ang interest mo, social awareness. Tulad ko, ang lagi kong interest yan, social awareness. Because I believe we differ in our perception about the world, about political issues, about crisis, because of how much we are aware about our society. And then, read related researches that is relevant to your possible research topic. As I said a while ago, there is nothing more powerful than the act of reading and writing. Now, research teaching and learning survival kits. Make it a habit, teachers, to pre-assess your students. This home-based learning, it is also a challenge na magkaroon ka ng mga pre-assessment. Kasi ang challenge dyan, kapag nag-pre-assess ba yung bata, makukuha niya agad yung resulta? Because we need right now, we need also a quicker way to determine the level of skills of our students. So anong dapat natin gawin? So kanina when I introduced to you the modules, there are also pre-assessment, okay? There are also pre-assessment materials that you can download, okay? And every module material that I showed to you a while ago also includes interest that can motivate your son and daughter to do research properly. Make it a habit to pre-assess your students. So for the teachers around here, pwede kayong gumamit ng Mentimeter. Ayan. Pwede kayong gumamit ng Mentimeter for your synchronous classes para ma-assess mo through surveys yung mga estudyante mo. Okay? Para ma-assess mo, nasaan na ba sila ng skill o pangunawa sa research na ginagawa nila. You can also have quizzes.com. Mas free ang account niya kaysa dun sa yung sa mas common natin ginagamit, which is Kahoot. Okay? Quizzes.com. So pwede siyang both synchronous and asynchronous learning. Another one for teachers and students na nagko-coach sa mga home-based learners natin, you can also use padlet.com or www.whiteboard.fi. Okay? So here, si Padlet, it is like an online bulletin board na kung saan pwede kang mag-share. Okay? Pwede kang mag-share ng mga ideas using during asynchronous period. Okay? Alam naman natin, pag sinabi nating asynchronous period, ito yung period na kung saan ang mga estudyante natin ay gumagawa on their pace. Okay? Gumagawa sila on their pace, on their own pace. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng mga asynchronous resources tulad ng Whiteboard FI at saka Padlet.com. Yan. Also, meron din tayong explaineverything.com. Yan. Ang explaineverything.com is like a whiteboard, pero pag sinend mo yung link dun sa mga bata, okay? Pag sinend mo yung link sa mga bata, they can answer on that whiteboard. Okay? Eh halimbawa, ang gusto mo ay, ang pinost mong tanong, what is your research interest? So, hindi lang isa ang nagsasagot. Yung mga batang naka-online, pwede silang sumagot on their own pace. Okay? Makakatulong din yan sa mga magulang natin na nagtatrabaho. So, ibig sabihin, they can track. Okay? They can track their learners' progress. their students' progress, their child's progress, using these interactive bulletin boards. Okay? So we have padlet.com. It's also a free account. Ang kailangan mo lang gawin dyan ay use your Google Mail or yung Gmail na tinatawag, and then log in, mag-sign up ka, then log in, and then it will give you free access. Okay? The same with whiteboard.fi. Ang whiteboard.fi naman ay binubuo ng mga mini whiteboard. Ayan. Mini whiteboard na kung saan every class discussion, the number of students na papasok dun sa klase mo, may tigi-isa silang virtual whiteboard. Okay? So, these things you can use in both synchronous and asynchronous activity. Another one is this, Cite This For Me. Ano yung Cite This For Me or Cite This na application? Ang Cite This application, ipakita ko sa inyo. Ang Cite This application ay pwede nating gamitin sa, halimbawa, ikaw ay naghahanap ng literature studies. O, tuturuan ko yung mga parents ngayon para, sir, paano ba namin tutulungan yung mga bata namin, yung mga anak namin, sa paggawa ng research? Minsan kasi ang hirap eh. Ako ang technique ko, isa lang. Ang ginagawa kong technique ay dinudugtungan ko ng salitang PDF yung hinahanap kong topic. Halimbawa, ang topic na hinahanap ko ay, social awareness among students. Tapos, ang dinudugtungan ko siya sa dulo ng term na PDF. Bakit? Para nang sa gayon, ang unang lalabas sa search ko, okay? Para nang sa gayon, ang unang lalabas sa search ko ay mga thesis na pwedeng downloadable. O, ayan, halimbawa, itong Nurturing Student Social Awareness through Project, something like that. So, pag kinlik ko to, okay, so pag kinlik ko ito, mada-download na siya as PDF. Lalabas na yung mga thesis. Pero paano, sir, kapag website? Paano ba namin isa-site yung website? Yun yung dahilan kung bakit ko pinakita sa inyo yung isang asynchronous tool na pwedeng gamitin ng mga home-based learners natin. Pwede nilang gamitin yan sa pagsulat ng research. Pwede na rin yung mga thesis writers natin ngayon sa grad school. So, halimbawa, ito. So, meron siyang abstract. Di ba? May abstract kayong nakikita dyan. So, sabi mo, hala, gusto ko tong i-cite. Paano ko gagawin? Yun nga, pupunta kayo sa Google, isa-search nyo yung Cite This. And i-install nyo siya as an extension. Okay? So, ito siya. Yan. Cite This. Nakikita nyo ngayon sa inyong mga screen. And then, pag kinlik mo yan, Cite This. So, lalabas ngayon yung account mo at mula dyan, pwede mo na siyang i-cite. Okay? Pwede mo na siyang i-cite. Okay? So, hintayin natin siyang mag-load. Ayan. So, naka-cite na siya. I-click mo lang po, Cite This. Okay? I-click mo lang, Cite This. Yeah, you can, if you're using your laptop right now, you can already look for it. Just look for Cite This. Yan. Okay? So yan, tatanungin kayo kung na-need nyong mag-sign up. In my case, I have already my Google account. Okay? So, ito para ating matulungan din ang ating mga estudyante. Yan. Nakasite na pala siya. Okay? So, ganun lang siya kadali. Okay? Ganun lang kadaling mag-cite sa Cite This. So, hindi natin nalaman na nakasite na siya. So, okay, another one is Mendeley. Okay? Okay? Another one that we can use is the Mendeley. Ayan pala, nakasite na. So, another thing that we can use is Mendeley, and I know that very well that most of you are more familiar with Mendeley. Ang maganda kasi kay Mendeley ay na-organize niya yung ating mga bibliographies. So yan. Next. Another one is Zotero. Kung ayaw nyo kay Mendeley, meron tayong citation tool na ang pangalan niya ay Zotero. Ang Zotero works like Mendeley, but it is more updated kasi meron na siyang version nung APA 7th edition. It is also a free downloadable material. Oh, ayan ha, yung mga home-based learners natin, pwede nyong i-download yung mga material na yan together with the modules of Bibal so that it can help you boost your research skills. Okay? So it can help you boost your research skills. You can also upgrade your skills. It can also help you upgrade your skills in research by following these applications. Yan. So Zotero, it's free also. Yan ha. I hope marami ako na i-share sa inyo with this limited time, and I hope somewhat I can bridge your understanding more para mahalin ninyo ang pagsulat ng research. So, in addition to these synchronous and asynchronous application, the hybrid education of Bibal Learn at Home Kits, meron din sila mga test booklets, activity sheets, supplementary material, and the thing that is very, very nice here is the parent's guide. Kasi nga, alam naman natin na yung mga magulang natin ay hindi naman lahat nakatutok sa atin kasi nagtatrabaho rin sila sa umaga. And if we have our classes in the morning at sila'y nasa mga offices or nasa work nila, hindi tayo nila masusundan. And because of this parent's guide, okay, because of this parent's guide, which is included at the Learn at Home Kit, okay, makakatulong ito para nang sa gayon, kahit wala ang magulang mo dyan para i-coach ka, pag uwi niya sa bahay, matatrack niya pa rin, ito na pala ang sinusundan ng anak ko ngayon. So, aside from the applications that I shared to you, yan, you can also have this. Another one that I want to share to you is having difficulty with common statistical programs, use Excel and maximize the add-ins application. Madalas tayo hindi natin ito nagagamit. Okay? Nasa ating mga Excel accounts, meron doong add-ins. Dun sa may home, tapos options sa ibaba, meron dong add-ins. Ano yung mga add-ins? Ito yung mga statistical toolpack analysis. Magko-compute ka pa ba manually? Siyempre meron ng Microsoft Excel. And Excel applications is readily available not only on laptops but also on mobile phones. And it can help you speed your data analysis. Yan. Can you do this in synchronous? Yes. Your teacher can guide you. Can you do this in asynchronous? Yes, because you will now be applying it yourself alone. Okay? Next, addressing misconception. Another misconception that I want you to realize are those methodological misconception. Ano itong mga methodological misconception? Is my sample size large enough? Yan. Lagi ko itong naririnig sa mga defense. Gaano kalaki yung sample mo? Diba? Bakit ganitong number lang? Bakit hindi mo kinonsider si ganito? Siyempre, kung proposal yan, mapapakamot ka ng ulo kasi babaguhin mo na naman yung methodology design mo. We have this misconception na the bigger, the better. According to Alma Mari in 2016, Patton in 2002, Bartlett and Higgins 2001, and Cochrane in 1977. Sabi nila, sample size matters because it has an implication to the ability of your data to generalize. Because the bigger the sample, the higher the chance that you can generalize or you can extend the results of your data on their own among the samples that they represent, or from the samples that is representing the population. The bigger the sample, the higher the chance of generalizability of your data. But remember, you can explore one group or one case and still provide a quality research. Okay, yan yung sabi ni Alma Mari and Patton. Don't be fooled too much about the largeness of these number, because you can still explore a one group or one case research and still provide a quality research. Sometimes we fill ourselves with misconception, and during the defense, nagkakagulo na tayo. Bakit? we are now confused sa sobrang lawak ng pinili mong scope. So, let us be guided with this misconception. Or let us be guided so that we can avoid this misconception. For research teachers, remember to increase the external validity of your paper for quantitative research, there is this action that we increase the sample size. And it's okay. To increase the transferability of the data for qualitative research, there is this focus. We need to focus on the thickening of narrations and exploration of the experience. And to increase the integrity of your methods in your mixed method research, make a consistent integration of methods and techniques of the two research methods, because we tend to mix or we tend to blend the characteristic of a quantitative and a qualitative. So, this is an advice not only for research teachers, but also for research students. That when you are hitting this kind of topic, na kapag na-encounter mo itong mga methodology design, please be guided that this is how you can improve your work. Okay? For research students, remember, focus on your alignment. Do not commit the fallacy of methodology blindness that lured new researchers in the abyss of confusion and statistical errors. Okay? Do not commit the fallacy of methodology blindness. Na kung saan you are so full of yourself, gusto ko to, kasama ito, idagdag natin ito, kahit wala naman siyang kinalaman sa study mo. Because you believe na meron. That is also the reason why researchers, students, you need to read. Because most of the time, the answer to your problem is in your review of related literature and studies. These early researches written that can strengthen your claim about your research. Sometimes our preoccupation about quality removes us from the quality that our research deserves. Our own illusion of quality. And say no to hodgepodge methods. Mixed method is a structured research method, while hodgepodge method is a product of a confused, over-extravagant research design. Okay? So, yan yung mga paalala natin sa ating mga research students, lalo na sa mga senior high school ngayon who opt to have home-based learning. Usually, most of the time, you will be having a limited contact with your research teachers or research instructors. But being guided with this idea will save you from being confused. And remember, your research objectives drives everything in your research. Hindi yan pampakapal ng papel lang. Okay? Ang research objective mo ay hindi lang pampakapal ng papel. It is your first objective lens that can see through on the walls and blocks of your research case. Your research objectives is what drives you, propelling you to move on this direction, because this is your way. It drives everything from your research problems up to the method of your study. And even in the creation of the output of your study, natatouch mo yung objective mo. Kasi ang tanong mo, nasagutan mo ba ang kailangan mo? Nabigyan mo bang tugon ang pangangailangan mo sa study mo? So, how can we still be guided in this new normal period in teaching and learning research? Most importantly, sa ating mga home-based learners. For those teachers who will be conducting synchronous activities and asynchronous activities for the learners, consider the time frame. We have a very limited time in teaching concepts. We will also have a very limited time in practicing the concepts. What I want you to realize is you need to prioritize harnessing the prerequisite skills and apply scaffold activities. You are writing modules, right? So put a space in that module that there will be a time, a session that you will harness prerequisite skills. You will review prerequisite skills in research. And what are these? Writing, paraphrasing, okay? Citation, yung mga citing appropriate materials, applying the appropriate citation style, yung mga prerequisite skills. Why? Because these prerequisite skills will strengthen the grounds of your learner, even though limited lang ang time ng inyong face-to-face meeting. Show your students the benefits of research. Most importantly, in this COVID season, this important move can only be made possible if you, teacher, can also see the benefit of research to your own field of discipline. I really adore and I extend my uh, sincere proudness to these teachers, despite the heavy academic loads, ay nakakapag-produce pa rin ng mga quality researches, hindi lamang para sa sarili nila, kundi para sa craft na rin nila. At para rin magkaroon ng guidance ang school nila. Okay? These researches are like torch, are like light in the middle of darkness or confusion. Do not make research a punishment for not studying. Always remember that. Do not make research a punishment for not studying. Research is a voluntary action perceived by the mind and conducted by the whole body and soul of the researcher. This research is always an attachment. There is an attachment between you and your research. A portion of your life is being dedicated in writing research. Diba sabi nga, if you want to be remembered even after you die in this planet, write a book, write a song, plant a tree, and I add one, do a research and make this research known. Students, create a workable research goals. Rethink your methods and consider your context. Be inclusive in your research. Consider your interests. Yan. And the people that may be influenced, affected, and benefited from your research gatherings. And lastly, the thing that I always love to say to my students, always connect with a research group. Whether you are doing it your research alone or with some group members, always connect with a research community. Get someone who can critique your research and objectively reflect and discern on their criticism. Love those people who critique objectively your research. Accept those criticisms. That is the only way your research may improve and can improve itself. Sometimes those things that we know are not that good for others. And those people who are critiquing our work have experienced the same journey with us. Listen to them. Huwag mo masamain kapag ikaw ay kinritik ng isang teacher. I'm talking to both students and teachers and parents. Huwag mo masamain kapag kinritik ka ng isang guro sa research. It only means there is something wrong in your study. At kapag ginawa mo yon, pag in-apply mo yung critic nila sa iyo, do it honestly. Huwag mong dayain and assume na hindi yan mababasa. Okay? There is this value called intellectual humility in research. That is accepting what you know and what you do not know. And I believe in this COVID season, it is one of the values that we need to imbibe in our system. Intellectual humility. You know when to say yes, you know when to say no. You know when to say I am wrong, you know when to prove. Okay, you know when to say I am wrong, you know when to prove when you are correct. That is intellectual humility. And one thing that is important in being a researcher is to reflect, okay, is to become a reflective thinker. Here's some question. I want to start the practice of research as early as grade 1. Can I do that? Yes. Here are some recommendations. For grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, you can write an observation log. Okay? For grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, you can write an observation log. Okay? Observation for the day, what I'm feeling about it. Can you do this in asynchronous? Yes. Can the parent track the progress here? Yes. Okay? Ayan. Grade 4 and grade 5, pwede rin. They can write an exploratory writing. Okay? They can write an exploratory writing. For grade, nakalagay yan for grade 3 and grade 4, the chosen topic may be the title of his study. Or for grade 4 and grade 5, some possible topics are already included there. Some problems that I may consider. Yan. Yan yung grade 4 and grade 5 natin. in which data gathering can be checklist or simple survey, yes or no. For grade 6, 7, and 8, you can start teaching them some parts. You can omit some parts if you want to. Ang binago ko lang diyan ay yung mga results. Pwedeng line graph lang, bar graph, simple interpretation of data. Ayan. So you can alter this recommendation based on your needs. Pag feel mo natataasan ka doon sa level ng hinihingi ng mga parts, you're free to change. Research is always prone to change. Grade 9 and grade 10, school-based action or scientific research. Yan. So for grade 9 and grade 10. For grade 11 and grade 12, may nagtanong sa akin, Sir, new normal na, magagawa pa ba namin itong qualitative research na mag-i-interview? Well, you can teach your student how to conduct a small focus group discussion through Zoom. Siguro mga 2 o 3. Or pwede mong turuan ng mga estudyante mo ng meta-synthesis o yung mga description coming from previous studies. They will try to compare, okay, and contrast, okay? Use an important theoretical lens. Yan. Kasi you need also to adjust your instruction. Tama? Okay. So, may magtatanong dyan, Sir, interesado kami dito sa Learn at Home Kit. So, this is the procedure. So, go to vivalgroup.com, learn at home, choose from the educational materials. Yan. So, click download. So, to our parents right here, this can help you track and for the progress of your children, and for the students. Yan. This will challenge you in this new normal in education. So, for my synthesis, why research? Estudyante ka man, teacher ka man, o magulang, we need to understand that we must act from knowledge consumer to information producer. While the whole world, or while our country, our region in Southeast Asia are already focusing on the 21st century learned skills, the fourth industrial revolution, some areas in some regions in the world are already focusing on the 2030 skills. And this is more on artificial intelligence. So we must act from knowledge consumer to information producer. And remember, it is our intellectual humility that matters. There are things that we already know that is worth sharing. That's why we do research. There are moments that we need to shut our mouth and open our ears, okay? And open our ears and fill our mind with the wisdom from other people. There are opportunities so high enough that if we will only listen and explore our profession, we can attain it for our students and our future's future. This is intellectual humility. Remember, research writing. Research writing is an art. And I want you to bring this as one of your mantra in doing research. It is always the extension of your academic life. You will be gone in this planet, but as long many people believe on your study, believe on your discoveries, you will still be alive in your chosen field of discipline. And that's why research and change are two inseparable entities. Hindi mo pwedeng paghiwalayin ang sining ng pananaliksik at ang paniniwala na matapos kang magsaliksik ay may magbabago. May research pa ba? Answer, yes. Good night, and God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Zaren. Now we will proceed to our question and answer portion. So our first question is from Miss Maricar Antonio. Is there any way to check the research of our students if it is plagiarized or not?
Yes, there are some ways actually. Number one, ang ginagamit namin sa school na program ay Playjuice. I think it's downloadable. Playjuice. Plagius. Meron ding ino-offer si Grammarly for educators. Yan, mache-check niyo po for plagiarism. And also, ang maganda kay Grammarly, pati yung consistency ng grammar, nache-check niya. Yun po yung sagot ko sa tanong.
Okay, thank you po, sir. Next question po from Miss Mary Grace de los Santos.
Okay.
Sir, what will be the purpose of research for homeschool-based learners?
Okay. The purpose of research for homeschool-based learners is number one. This will challenge them more. Okay, this will challenge them more. That learning doesn't stop even though you are in the comfort of your home. That there are some things that is more to be discovered even though you are in the comfort of your home. I believe only few people will understand this, but I hope it will pass on their understanding that walang pinipiling panahon ang research. We Even though we are in the pre-COVID season or during COVID season or post-COVID season, the purpose of research still remains the same. It is for you to contribute change. Number two, academically speaking, it is part of the competencies that a learner should attain, most importantly in the senior high school department. So, the purpose of research for this homeschool learner is the same like those who are uh, is the same like those who are having normal schooling, okay, yung mga pumapasok sa eskwelahan. Pero ngayon kasi, lahat naman tayo ay considered na homeschool learners kasi wala naman tayo ngayong face-to-face instruction. The purpose of research is the same, to contribute change, to harness our critical thinking abilities, and to discover more of the things that we already know. And I think it's a very good time to research at this moment because these pressing times we need to discover truth. We need to challenge existing beliefs. So yan ang purpose ng research. So I hope somewhat I cross on the answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you po, sir. The last question is from Mr. Pido Teofilo. On
Okay.
evaluating teachers' performance by the students,
Okay.
can sampling method be used? Is it still highly valid and credible even if participants are selected students only?
Ay, naputol ka dun sa early words. Can you repeat the question?
Ayan, on evaluating teachers'
Okay.
performance by the students, can
Evaluating
some
teacher performance by the students. Okay.
can sampling method be used?
Can sampling method be used? Okay. So if my understanding of the question is correct, the question is asking this. The question is trying to address the reliability of students evaluating their teachers. Tama?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Can sampling method be used? In the practice of our school, we also use sampling. Okay? Remember that these samples represent a particular population. A sample represents a particular population. Because of random sampling, every aspect of the population was randomly selected. Okay, was randomly selected. And these randomly selected individuals has the characteristic of the population itself. So the question is whether it is valid, whether the evaluation of teacher will still be valid. Yes, because you have selected the samples in a random manner. Ngayon, ang question lang dyan is the consistency of the responses of the student. Doon tayo ngayon magtatanong, are the answers consistent? Doon tayo papasok because every student has a different experience of the teacher. Okay? So the right question there is I think the question that we must answer there is the consistency of the responses because every student has a different experience of the teacher and it is being reflected on the assessment or the evaluation of their teachers.
Okay, thank you po, sir. Last na lang po, may pahabol lang po na question. From Miss Maria Abihay. Good
Okay.
evening po. What about science-related researchers? Wouldn't it be quite a challenge for both teachers and students kasi often their materials have to undergo laboratories. What remedies
Yes,
can we do about it?
hindi ako magloloko sa sagot ko, pero sasabihin ko talaga yes. It is a challenge. It's a very big challenge. Because uh, even though meron mga virtual labs sa internet na pwede mong i-manipulate. Actually, there are so many virtual laboratories in the internet na pwede mong gamitin na nag-o-offer ng mga chemicals, ng mga animal tests, mga ganyan. May mga virtual laboratories kasi. Kahit gamitan mo siya ng virtual laboratories, magiging questionable pa rin yung kasagutan mo. It is a challenge for science experiments. Lalo-lalo na kung ang ating tutukuyin ay pure experimental research. Siguro yung mga quasi-experimental tulad ng mga yung mga test scores and ganyan, kung teacher magkakandak, maaaring makonsider mo pa. Pero kung yung mga pure experimental, nagagamit ka ng mga laboratory equipments, it will be very, very difficult at this moment.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's all the question we have for now. Any last reminders to our viewers for tonight po?
Yeah, my last reminder is never stop learning. Never stop learning, and always remember that research is always our last is our fortress, our defense. Okay? We can only prove change objectively. We can only induce change in the society that we have objectively when we do and continuously conduct researches. Okay? So huwag kayong matakot sa paggawa ng research. Matakot tayo pag hindi na natin alam ang mga katotohanan, gawa ng wala nang gumagawa ng pananaliksik. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, there we have it. So, in behalf of Bibal Group Incorporated, I would like to thank you, Sir Zaren, for this very comprehensive discussion that we had tonight. It is an honor to have you with us tonight. And to all our Kabibal viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. And again, thank you very much and good evening po. Goodbye po. Thank you.
Thank you.